Welcome to Momma Moves podcast, where we focus on identifying barriers, removing barriers, and breaking through so that we can be who God has created and formed us to be, do what God has called us to do, and go where God has planned for us to go. I am your host, LaQuisha Williams. Let's get moving in our minds so we can move in our bodies. I think me having my kids at this point while I'm doing this podcast episodes is going to be a thing, because every time I get my little one to sleep, he wakes up as soon as I get done setting up. Also, my other one, he pretty much stays in his own, you know, he stays in his own skin. But when it's time for me to record different things, he comes and he wants to be a part of the camera. So I think it's going to be a thing. So if you guys hear my kids in the background, I'm a mom, okay? And sometimes it's not going to be quiet while I'm doing these episodes and these videos. And you know what? For me, that's okay. I'm convinced that the Lord wants me to do these podcasts with my kids. It is called Mama Move, right? So either way, whether we have our kids or not, whether I have my kids or not, I have to still continue to be obedient and do what I need to do, right? Holy Spirit, help me. So a little while back, I was talking to the Lord about my time, about my day to day, about my schedule. I was really struggling with balance and just being a mom, um, trying to start a business, being a wife, taking care of my household, everything that, all the things, right? So, with that being said, I asked the Lord, Lord, can you help me? I need balance. I needed balance in my schedule. I needed balance in my time. So I thought I did at this time. And the Lord responded to me and he told me, you don't need balance in your time. You don't need balance in your schedule, in your day to day. You need balance in your life. And so when he initially told me that, I didn't fully understand what that meant. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It's funny because every time the Lord tells me something, I tell him he's right, even though, of course, he's right, right? But I just always tell him he's right because, of course, him bringing me what it is that I need, he's always going to be right. And so, with that being said, I didn't fully understand what that meant in the moment of me needing balance in my life. I didn't understand what it meant for me to need balance in my life. And so, at that moment, it's like, okay, Lord, help me. What do I need to do at this point? And I don't think that's what my mouth said, but I think that's what my heart was saying. And so because my heart was saying it, of course, the Lord walked this thing out with me. Um, and so as I was trying to work on a schedule to see how I could fit things in, how I can get things done, what I need to do on my day to day, the Lord was giving me instruction to do certain things. So at the time, it really was just me coming into an understanding and what it looks like for me to create balance or receive balance or get balance in my life. As the Lord spoke, as the Lord gave me instruction, as the Lord start to have me look at different areas of my life, I start to understand why I needed balance in my life and not my schedule per se. I did need balance in my schedule, but the reason why I was not getting balance in my schedule was because I did not have balance in my life. And so as time went by, I was able to start to see different problem areas in which I was struggling, different places where I started to notice what it was that I needed to do. So let me just have a total transparent moment right now. I'm getting so many distractions at this point in time where I'm trying to really get this episode out. I'm trying to really get out what it is that the Lord wants me to release. And I'm getting so many different distractions. And it's like, as I put my foot to my faith, to be obedient. I am noticing so much opposition coming my way. And sometimes I look at the opposition as being God telling me this is not the right time. And what I'm coming to find is that because I experienced the opposition, I know that I am in the right place. And it reminds me of Nehemiah and how he was building. And in the beginning of the book of Nehemiah, where they explain what the chapter is about in the word, it talks about building from opposition without an abuse within. I believe that's what it says. And so it reminds me of that. So with that being said, going back to the topic of what it is we were talking today, that was just a side note. So I hope that helped somebody else, because that just helped me in just really trying to regroup and get back focused, even in the midst of so many different distractions. I know that I can edit this episode. I know I can edit the video version. I know I can edit the audio version. However, and that's great. I can use technology to my advantage. However, I like to really just get into the flow. And so a lot of times I don't want to do a lot of edits because I want to just be in the flow. But that's okay, because we are going to continue to push through and persevere, even in the midst of these distractions, even in the midst of opposition. Why? Because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If the Lord brought me to it, he will bring me through it. And so back to the topic, that was just a side note. As I am walking out what God is telling me to do, what he's telling me to pay attention to, as I am following his instructions, I am learning more and more why I needed balance in my life and not just balance in my schedule. The word says, in all you're getting, get understanding. In Proverbs 4:7, it was in that chapter, it's talking about wisdom, right? But one key factor that really stands out to me and that sticks with me on a almost a daily basis, and just throughout, my healing journey, just throughout this journey of life, is the part where it says, in all you're getting, get understanding. And this is the type of understanding that you're gaining while you're getting wisdom and revelation from the Lord. You start to understand why. You start to put the pieces of the puzzle together as you seek the Lord, right? As you seek out what it is he's saying when he gives you different revelation, when he speaks to you, you're seeking out the understanding behind his words. Even when you're reading the word, you're seeking to understand what it is saying. And so that is very important to me. In all you're getting, get understanding. That's what this reminds me of when it comes to balance. Recently, the Lord spoke to me and he said, when it comes to balance, in order to create balance, you must make the adjustments. I was in the shower and let me share with you guys how I received this revelation from the Lord. And it's very simple. It's a very simple revelation. And it was really a reminder of God just showing me, giving me more understanding to what this balance thing looks like, right? And how it is coming about in my life as we speak. And all that I've been doing within the last couple years as I am following his instructions, how it has been just coming into alignment, even up until now and going forward. Even though this noise is funny, even though I had this conversation about balance with the Lord some years ago when it came to me just needing balance in my schedule, me needing balance in my time, and him telling me, no, you need balance in your life. As we are here now, and recently the Lord just spoke to me. I was in the shower and oh my goodness, he is making noise with this rattle. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now he's beating on the drums. Okay. All right. That's what we're doing. All right. That's what we're doing. So I was in the shower and I was paying attention. I don't know why, but I was paying attention to the shower caddy in my shower. The shower caddy has two different levels on two different sides, right? So it's the left side, it has two levels. The right side has 2 levels. And so you're able to put like shampoo and body wash and soap and things in those 2 little levels. It's like little baskets, if I can describe it as that. And so you're able to put things in there. And so on one side, it had 2 bottles of my facial wash and a bottle of shampoo. On the other side, it had just a bottle of my new body wash. I had just put the new body wash on one of the sides, which was the side opposite from the other bottles. Now, the other bottles were a little empty, right? They weren't full like how my new body wash was. And so when I put the body wash on one side, it didn't balance out. It kind of weighed down on that side of the body wash because it was heavier than the stuff that was on the initial side that didn't have as much product in the bottles. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, I want that. I'm the type of person where I like for things to um, be a certain kind of way, right? In my space. And so it bothered me. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to leave this alone. I'm just going to continue to take my shower. I know this sounds weird, you guys, but I'm just going to continue to take my shower and leave this alone. But I'm like, you know what? Just go ahead and make the adjustments. And I'm hearing this in my mind, and I'm going and I'm trying to balance out this shower caddy so that it's straight, right? And I heard the Lord says, in order to create balance, you have to make the adjustments. And it was right after I actually got it balanced out. And I'm like, Lord, what do you mean by this? And he started to remind me of all the different things that I have been doing and approaching in the last couple years that is bringing balance in my life. For example, going to therapy, going to marriage counseling, doing the proper things to get my house in order, looking at our diet, changing our menu, okay, changing what I'm cooking, changing what I'm buying when it comes to that, looking more into finances and why things are not matching up, why things are not adding up, building and developing different plans and strategies. Just a lot of different things that I've been working on, educating myself in different areas, going to different events and programs, taking different courses in church, and just a lot of different things that I have done within the last years to help me with my mind, help me with my thinking, help me with different strategies on how to just be a woman, be a wife, be a mother, be a human, be a child of God, be a help to other individuals, be an impact. And as I'm doing these things, and a lot of things that I was doing, it was practical things that I was doing. Like when I had a baby, a lot of the things that happened throughout me getting pregnant, being pregnant, going through labor and delivery, and having my little one right here, um, it was prophetic with a lot of things that was in the spiritual realm, and the Lord was showing me a lot of different things. And so, and I'm going to talk about that on a different episode. But I say that to say that even in the little things, the Lord has been showing me. He's been showing me me. He's been showing me him, the way he thinks, the way I was thinking, the way I'm thinking now, and how all of these things is making a difference because I changed my thinking, because I did some things and made some adjustments in my life in different areas of my life. Things started to change and come into alignment and started to be balanced because I made the adjustments. And so going forward, he wasn't just talking about the things that I've already done. He was also talking about the things that I'm doing now and what I will be doing in the future to continue to maintain balance. It's not just getting the balance. You also have to be sustained in that. You have to maintain the balance. And so he was just speaking to me about just even now in my life right now, I'm focusing on conquering procrastination and fear. I've been punching them in the face. I've been noticing different things, different areas, different cracks and crannies, even in the physical things of my life. And it's been prophetic. I've been looking at the physical things and the things that I haven't touched, the things I've overlooked, the things that I don't do because I just feel like it's a lot. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be overwhelmed. I'm afraid to do it because it may not work. Whatever that is, I have been taking the initiative to do it. For example, even in my home, I told you guys about the yard sale. I did not want to clean out the basement. Okay. The basement wasn't pretty. It had a lot of different spider webs, spiders. It's not a finished basement. It's an ugly basement. And I didn't want to clean up our stuff down there. My landlord had people down in our basement working on the ducts. And so we had dust everywhere. All of our stuff had been moved, all of those things. It just was a mess down there. And I didn't want to do it. I procrastinated it. I did not want to do it. It was overwhelming. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know where I was going to start. But even in those small things, I still went down there. I looked at it. I planned on where I would start, what I would do, how I would do it. And then I planned on when I was going to do it. And even though my plan did not go as planned, I still made it my duty to go down there and stop procrastinating after Holy Spirit nudged me a couple times. But even in the midst of just all of the different things, like I've been cleaning out closets in my home. I've been cleaning up just different things that I haven't done and I just allowed to lay dormant and to just sit there. I've been taking the initiative to just do it. Don't think about it. Don't overthink it. Don't even give myself a chance to overthink it. When I think about it, when it comes to my attention, just do it. And even if I am in the midst of something and I'm busy, plan to do it. And in that time you plan to do it, make sure it gets done. That's what I have been paying attention to. Why? Because I've been making the adjustments in my life. That is not only going to get my house in order in the physical of my actual home, that's also getting me in order. That's killing procrastination. That's killing fear. That's killing being afraid to walk in the unknown. That's killing not doing something just because I'm overwhelmed. That's killing not doing something just because I don't think it's going to work. I need to be okay in every area of my life. I need to be whole in every area of my life. I need balance in every area of my life. And that balance just doesn't come. That balance is not just created and then you walk away from it. That's something that you have to continue to do in order to keep, because things change, right? You have people coming and going. You have things coming and going. Even the Lord, he may have you doing one something in one season and then the next thing in another. Things are always going to be constantly changing. The only one who does not change is Jesus. Okay. The only one who does not change is the Lord. And so everything is going to be constantly changing. And so with that change, I had to learn the skills. I had to learn how to keep and maintain the balance, how to make the adjustments in my life. And that is what I am doing now. And so even now, I am walking into a season where I know me and my family are about to be homeowners, right? And I found myself getting prepared to be a homeowner, in a way of like starting to have that mindset. Okay, this is what we're going to do in the new house. This is what we're going to buy for the new house. I'm getting a list together, my shopping list. This is what I want to change because of our healthy lifestyle now. And I'm getting to a mindset that when we get into this house, this is when I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to change this. And that's not faith. When it talks about faith in the Bible, it talks about now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, right? And so now faith would be like, this is what I'm going to start doing now so that when we get into our home, it is already being done. The Lord told me last year at the beginning of the year to get my house in order. I didn't have full understanding of when he said it initially. However, as I walked out, as I sought the Lord, as I listened to his instructions and I was being obedient as I abide in him, I was able to start seeing what he meant by getting my house in order. And that meant a lot of different things. And so sometimes we can look at life as, okay, when we get this, when we go here, this is when we're going to do this, but that's not faith. It reminds me of my pastor, and she says, do it now. Do what you are desiring to do on the level that you are at now. And so I am figuring out a way to do what it is, all the things that I say I'm going to do what I can now today in order to step into it. And it may look different from what you're picturing because you might be picturing the bigger picture, which God is a bigger picture God. However, it has to start from somewhere. God delights in the start. He delights in the seed of things, right? And so when we just do the little things and plant those seeds will grow. But if you just talking about the seed and you're not putting it in the ground, then how is that seed going to grow in the place you're stepping into? If I continue to say, okay, when I get my house, this is what I'm going to start, then that seed is not going to be able to be in the ground doing what it needs to do to grow. It's not there yet. You're not going to plant the seed until you get into that new place and that new space. And God is saying, no, I need you to plant the seed now. So when you get to that new space and that new place, that thing is already growing and making progress and doing what it's supposed to do. And so even in just us saving, God promised me a house, right? So when God makes a promise, he funds the promise. It's on his timing. And we are not to strive in that. I am to rest in that. I am to rest in the promises of God. So even in this place where I am just trying to where I'm focusing on doing what I can, even with us saving, we had saved up money for a down payment. But even in that, I had to really go back because there were some things that needed to be done now. And so we had to go into that savings and we had to do the things that needed to be done now to create the space in which we're walking into, and start planting those seeds now so that as we walk forward, those seeds are already planted. And it's much bigger than a home. It's much bigger than getting things, right? It's about the kingdom. It's about creating character. It's about being mentally, physically, emotionally, financially okay so that we can be there for somebody else and that we can share our testimony and we can do those things that's going to help and impact other people. And so I'm just getting my life in order, y'all. I'm just getting my life together. And I am creating a place of balance as I am listening to the Lord, as I'm following his instructions. I'm getting those instructions by abiding in him, going to him, seeking him, putting my mind on him, fixing my mind on him, looking to the hills which cometh my help, doing all that I know to do in the midst of all of the different things that we go through in a day to day, in the day to day. I don't know why it took all that for me to get that out. But so I think I said all that needed to be said, y'all. I'm almost on 30 minutes and it's time to end this podcast. I hope that this helped. I hope that you were able to hear every word, seeing that you heard my kids in the background, and that's okay. But I really hope this helps someone. It has been helping me. This is really about my lifestyle and what's going on in my life, and I'm really just sharing it so that it will help someone else as I am walking this thing out, as I am receiving from the Lord. I want to release to someone else so that that can help pull somebody else up in their mind so that they can get moving in their mind, so that they can move in their body. I'm not only talking to you, I am not only ministering to you, I am ministering to myself. I love you with the love of the Lord. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed, and prosperous day.